Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alante, and I am reading Shahrazad Ali's The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Sorry, it's a long day. This is the last part of this book, y'all. I'm reading the conclusion. There is two parts to the conclusion. The first part seems to be what she concluded with when she first wrote the book. And then the second part is her revisiting the book 20 years later and giving her conclusion on it again. So I will be reading both of them, and let's get into it. Chapter 18, the conclusion. Thank y'all again for rocking with me this long. I appreciate you guys sharing, subscribing, commenting, letting your friends know about it, letting your family members know. Like, I really appreciate you guys so much. Like, I don't know how else to express that to you guys, but I really appreciate all the support, all the feedback, everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Chapter 18, conclusion. Every chapter in this book is filled with examples of the kinds of problems the Black woman has, both emotionally and mentally. It's deep. It's an infection that for many years has robbed the Black man from reaching his full potential as the King of Kings. He is held back by his queen, who is deeply entrenched in fear. She is trying to run away from the problem. She is trying to flee from the individual work that must be done to save our nation. Although not lazy by nature, she has become loose and careless about herself and about her man and family. Her complaints and whining about the lack of qualified Black men has led her to white men, celibacy, and lesbianism. As the first, the original, and the leader, the Black man is responsible for remaking the Black woman into what she must become. It is not an easy job, and payment will be slow and the initial benefits few. She is hard to train, and it will take time, patience, endurance, and attention. Great sacrifices reap great results. Occasionally, there surfaces a Black woman who strives to be civilized. She is refined, intelligent, clean, courteous, and cheerful. It is a lucky Black man who finds or makes this kind of Black woman. She represents good material to work with. She requires guidance, but because of her being in line with the true nature of the Black woman, she is easier to train and submit herself for correction. This type of woman accepts her responsibilities as a wife and as a mother. She is satisfied and content with what her Black man provides for her and her family. Money is not her god. She lives a simpler existence, teaches her children good values, and spends time with them to influence their futures. She is obedient and respectful to her man, pursues wholesome goals, is respected in her community, and dresses in a stylish, non-seductive way. She does not curse or be loud in public. She supports her man and enjoys the splendor of a happy sex life. This kind of Black woman is a rarity, but she does exist. The Black man's work on the Black woman must be carefully done so to not permanently maim her ego. He must approach and challenge her behavior head on, and he must do it in such a way that will not drive her insane. His words must not be based on the rationale and reasoning of the American way of life. Instead, his way must be one of his very own design, based on his individual needs and desires, whatever he wants his woman, children, and home to be like. He must figure out how to maintain a family and a household in peace, a household where there is love and sincere caring for each of the members. He must control his group, his family, by being civilized in his asking and telling. It takes approximately 3 weeks to make a change. If the Black man can maintain his seriousness of purpose for just 3 weeks, he will reap the benefits of change. The Black woman should be the proudest female on earth, and she should feel she is the most blessed of all humankind because she is the mate of the greatest form of life on the planet, the Black man. Instead of opting for this prestigious position, she has chosen the role of rebellion and hostility. But she is not herself. Herself is the most valuable and the most beautiful vessel the Black man owns. she has no match. These are very serious times. Black lives are at risk from the deadly extreme of drugs to the misleading comforts of the nestling warm armpits of the system. The plan to create a dead brain in the slave was set in motion in 1555, and the effect was designed to be self-perpetuating throughout each commencing generation. It is a mold, a frame of mind, an idea of mental death and deterioration that permeates the Black nation. Currently, the disconnection of Black people and their failure to come to an agreement on the time and what must be done continues to mushroom and snowball at the same time. Distrust, disunity, and disagreement is rampant in every Black community, and worse, in nearly every Black household. The condition of the Black woman is the strongest manifestation of this defect. Clear warnings have come from the problem solvers of our era, and some of the solutions have even been presented by the problem makers, but to date, they have all been rejected. The warners who came with clear messages have died, been killed, or systematically ignored, and the truth has been reduced to an interpretation of mere opinion. It does not matter how much financial help is given to the Black nation or how much is taken away. If the basic foundation of the Black man and Black woman's attachment is not repaired, the Black nation in America will continue to self-destruct without additional help or hindrance from anyone. It is already on a roll. Superior education, business advancement, sport achievement, and marvelous entertainment is not enough. We must breed a new people and teach them new ideas. The pitiful state of condition of the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black child is not hidden, certainly not from the people who cause it to be this way. Remember, the Black nation is not responsible for being enslaved. However, we are responsible for our freedom. And until Black couples make a conscious decision to practice the behavioral modification required to change the slavery thought patterns and help combat the practices that perpetrate failure and dependency, the Black family will continue on the downhill roller coaster to hell and extinction it is currently riding. We can no longer look to the people who put us in this condition to provide us a way out of it. We must do this ourselves. So make no mistake about it. This writing is a call for blood, the special blood of the seed of the original Black men who have within their genes the knowledge of great legacies of progress and eternal peace. Every Black man will not heed this call. For some of them, it is already too late. They have been emotionally destroyed. Their problems are only symptoms of the causes, which are detailed in this book. This writing is also a call to the Black man to confront and conquer the terror-filled veins flowing through the woman's body, and it is a platform for the Black man to learn what he must do to survive. No Black man is exempt from these instructions. Repeat, no Black man is exempt from this information. He must elevate himself to the occasion. Rise, Black man, and take your rightful place as the ruler of the universe and everything in it, including the Black woman. That was the original end to her conclusion. She added a little more 20 years later, and this is that. The last 20 years or so have been very revealing and have taught us a great deal about each other, more than we have ever known before, and possibly more than we are ready to acknowledge. One of the main things we discovered is that we are not as different as we think we are, and that we all share in the same similar situations described in this book. What goes on in our homes and personal relationships is very predictable with routine outcomes. As it turns out, we are quite monolithic in our love lives. Since writing this book over 20 years ago, we have discussed our relationship issues to the point of exhaustion. We have opened up, shut down, exposed our vulnerabilities, and sometimes even moved on to other nationalities to escape the inevitable confrontations that exist among us about why we can't get along. Admittedly, we just can't get it together. Yet this one book remains as the most productive and exciting period of emotional growth Black men have ever experienced since the 1960s Cultural Revolution. This book brings you the Black man in America face to face with yourself, and for the first time provides you with some basic knowledge about your woman's behavior and motivation that you didn't know about. This is definitely a book for strong Black women who are able to read it, see themselves, analyze their own behavior, discuss it with their mates, make changes, and finally be amused at the entire text. As Black women, historically we have practiced the treacherous art of hidden issues and secret agendas in our relationships with Black men. This includes our mates, our husbands, our fathers, our uncles, brothers, and sons. We tend to trick and treat all Black men the same and then support other Black women in the wrongdoing they get caught in. In retrospect, the descriptions about Black women's behavior that they claimed were so demeaning at the time have turned out to be quite mild compared to the bold, sexually explicit, wild boar behavior of Black females today. Technology, especially YouTube, has allowed the Black woman in America, by way of cameras, to show the entire world the savage and uncivilized things she does, what she likes, what she does in front of her children, what she does in public places like bars, playgrounds, schools, restaurants, and especially how she dresses and dances. No cooking, cleaning, or washing, just sex, sex, sex. 20 years ago, certain types of raunchy dancing was reserved for women performing in strip clubs or secret after-hour joints. But today, nearly all the women dance in the same vulgar moves that strippers use. They do this dance anywhere there's a camera and anywhere there's an audience because they seem to be aiming for the greater audience, the world, via the internet. They are unconsciously training their children, especially their daughters, to dance and behave in the same unabridged, shameless way. Black women compete with each other to see who can dance or gyrate in the most sexually explicit manner, especially in front of men. Sadly, many Black men in our society encourage this type of unladylike, low-down dog behavior among our women. Black men should not support this by treating the dancing, fighting, and nudity as if it's just entertainment, because it is not. It is further proof of the destruction of Black womanhood and femininity. And Black men must remember that this is the woman God designed for them. And ironically, after witnessing Black women behave in these ways, and then our men go to other nationalities and find a decent woman and marry them. A lot of our Black men no longer want a Black woman. Between how we act and our bad attitude, our men feel like we are too much trouble to deal with. They want peace, which our women do not know how to practice daily. 20 years ago, our situation was not nearly as bad as it is today. We did not have so many Black women who were openly gay, nor Black women who had given up finding or being with a Black man. There was not the overwhelming problem of homelessness, Black women killing their own children, and Black women abandoning their own children. Our prisons are now overflowing with Black men just as much as they're overflowing with Black women. A lot of this is new to the Black community, and it has created an adjustment problem in our households and on the job. We have an entire generation of Black male youth who would rather pretend to be a Black woman than to be a husband of one. We also do not have as many highly educated Black women which have raised the bar, they think, of their options to mate, date, and marry. The Black man has remained economically disenfranchised in society, yet our women today demand more and more to waste on fake hair, fake fingernails, fake eyelashes, fake buttocks, fake breasts, and fake personalities. Black women spend more time on their physical appearance than on caring for their man and children and cooking nutritious meals. With the Black poverty rate at almost 40%, Black men must resist. Resist the easy urge to abandon and disconnect from their children. Resist the temptation to practice antisocial behavior, such as killing other Black men over petty grievances and drugs and turf. There is always something to do to make yourself attractive to a woman. Don't allow women to manipulate you with sex. Get control of your low desires. Clean yourself up. Read. Pick up trash in your neighborhood and grow a garden. Set a good example for Black women. Be strong in your convictions to do right. Don't let everybody play you. Respect women and make them respect you by leading by example. The Black man is the best man on the planet Earth. Your agility and endurance will continue to serve you if you use it. Women like a good man better than they like a man with a job. All women will take care of a man if she sees something good in him for herself. If your woman has other children, try to treat them with equality and respect. All women love men who are nice to their children. All women love men who try to fix up around the house. The black woman is so far removed from love that she sometimes can't identify it. Show her that affection and caring is more than sex. Right now, she thinks this is all she has and all she's good for. Today, just as 20 years ago, loneliness is the greatest fear and threat to black women. They will do anything rather than being alone. This is what taking all their clothes off is about. They are trying to get attention to keep them from being alone. The black woman is frightened and desperate to be loved, and she is always disappointed. Our women are broken, and they cannot be fixed until our man takes charge of his post and refuses to allow his present circumstances to dictate his outcome. If the black man does good, then God will be on his side. You can't stop a man who believes that God is on his side. Do good without a religious institution. Police your own self. Reclaim your family. Some will say that this advice is old school, out of style, corny, and contains techniques that will not work. They are lying because they are lazy and they want us to fail. The main commonality we have is that we are all products of our ancestral slave history, which has damaged us all. We must talk about slavery together as a family and study the ways it has affected us, especially the black woman. We cannot get away from this. We have to confront it and deal with it in order to get better. You survived slavery, you can survive this. And that is the end of this book, y'all. Oh, my copy's falling apart. That's the end of this book, y'all. What are your thoughts? This conclusion summed it up perfectly, and I'm glad she revisited 20 years later to give her take on the book again. And I agree. I have these conversations with my man all the time, my friends, just anybody that's willing to listen. Women, black women especially, our image has been on a decline, especially now. You're hard pressed to find a black woman entertainer that's not half naked or selling sex. It's just crazy because we know that women, girls, are easily influenced. They give in to social contagion, and it's sad seeing our people, black women especially, be so reckless in that, in their image and what they're portraying to the world, knowing that future generations are watching them as the guide, as the blueprint. And I just want so much better for our people, and I'm hoping that reading this book on YouTube starts conversation between us, that we start tackling these issues together. So we'll see what happens, but I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for rocking with your girl during all these chapters. I can't believe we got to the end of the book finally, right? I know some of you are like, man, this is about time. This book should have been over. But I am going to get into the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. And I cannot wait to see what that says. I'm very interested. And I hope you guys are too. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.